Hey everyone, welcome to Live on Wednesdays here with t.U.G. Just enjoying some watermelon I got at the National Heirloom Expo. Trying to get a bite in before the live stream here. I want to thank you all so much for joining me here today for this live stream. It's really great to have you here with me here. And just to let you know, if you're new to joining in on the live stream, watching the replay, or here with us live, like to get together each Wednesday here at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, so that would be like 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for all of you on the East Coast or whatnot. But I like to get together with everybody here on my channel and kind of get a chance to have a conversation about gardening, talk about our channel and the things that we got growing on here. Just kind of a fun opportunity for us to get together once a week and be able to share with each other about the things growing on in our lives right now. So if you are here right now live, there's a chat box right there. Please let me know where you are, what you're growing from, what you got growing on, all that sort of stuff. Join in the conversation here, and I really look forward to chatting with you here this week. And if you are watching on the replay, so I hope some of you who are watching on the replay who are new or anything like that, please let me know right down in the comments down below. So if you're watching live, you can also comment below too. But if you're watching on the replay, please do let me know all the same things, where you're growing from, what you got growing on, all that sort of stuff. And possibly something I talked about in previous live streams and all of that is let me know your garden story. Let me know what got you into gardening, what grew your garden passion, all of that sort of stuff. I would love to hear about it and be able to share it with others here on the live stream in coming weeks. So we've got, it looks like Darla, who showed up here first, asked if she was too early. She wasn't too early. Just a little bit early, and I was just a little bit late, as usual for me. I'm at least a few minutes late. I'm always trying to put together things at the last second here as I'm trying to do all of that. And plus, I was trying to munch down some watermelon and whatnot. I was really kind of ignored my lunch and all of that. So I was chopping that up. I kind of wanted to show it to you all too. I'll show it again. Look at that. This is a yellow meated watermelon I got from the National Heirloom Expo. Yes, it's supposed to be that color. I had posted a picture to this on my Facebook, and I got a message from somebody about asking about why it was so pale, and they hadn't seen a yellow watermelon before. So yeah, really good. Got yellow ones, some white ones too that are really good. And this one's kind of a yellow to orange fleshed watermelon. There's some really more deep oranges, and then there's a little more deep yellows too. I actually picked up another watermelon I'm gonna get into after this one here. After I'm done with this one, I'm gonna get into it. But it has a really wonderful, I mean, one of the most amazing looking flesh that I've seen in a watermelon before. Really deep yellow. And I'm really looking forward to getting to that. In fact, upcoming when I put together and finish editing the episodes for our National Heirloom trip that we just took, in that I have footage on the watermelon table and all of that watermelon actually that I got there. I knew once I saw it, I was going to make sure at the very end of the show I was going to go chase one of those down and bring it home with me. Not only to eat though too, these are heirloom watermelons. So the seeds in these watermelon I'm saving and possibly grow in my garden next year. And definitely that yellow one that I got coming. So let's see here. I don't know. I'm looking here. It says it's still going. Is everything going all right? I'm looking on mine. Let's see here if it's just my computer or not, or did something happen to the live stream? So yeah, I don't know. On my feedback, it looks like the live stream's got something wrong with it. Oh, I hate starting out this way. Hopefully this gets cleared up, or Looks like I see the screen back up there. At least a 5-second delay there. Okay, well, it looks like everything's all right. Please let me know if you're seeing the stream and everything right now. It just kind of went blank on me on my end here that I'm watching from the YouTube page. So I'm wondering if that's something that happened with everybody else out there too. So I'm gonna give it a minute here to let one of you, please let me know if you're watching the live stream right now, if everything's looking all right, if you're hearing everything all right. And then, okay, wait. All right. Emilio, all right, but I was just, right before all that, I was just gonna say hello to you, Emilio. Thank you so much for joining me here. Thanks for letting me know that you see everything all right. It says it looks perfect. Just looked like something on the page here, which I've got my laptop down here and it's running the YouTube stream coming from the YouTube page there too. So it kind of broke down on my end from down here, but it looked like everything was running from as far as the phone and everything, which I used to do the live stream. So maybe it was continuing to go and you guys all had to just sit there through me looking and wondering what was going on with my computer here, I guess. I don't know. All right, so yep, Amelia says it looks perfect for him. And Caroline, nice to see you again, joining us here for the live stream on Wednesdays. She says she can see the live stream and the volume is great from New Hampshire. Excellent. Love to have you from New Hampshire joining us here in Southern Oregon, where I'm at doing the live stream here. Let me just take a drink here. Yeah, it's just, hope everything's going all right on the stream anyways, as far as that went. It was just really hard or difficult for me to tell there, so I apologize to everybody who just had to deal with the last, I don't even know, 5 minutes or 4 minutes or so of this confusion or whatever, getting us started here and all of that. But really glad to see you all here with me. Thanks for joining up and you know, getting in the chat window there, letting me know where you're growing from, and let me know what you got going on. I'm gonna go back here. It looks like Emilio says he's from Modesto, California, still growing corn, tomatoes, and peppers. Excellent. Yep. I'm in Southern Oregon, so just stayed away there from you, and I'm still kind of growing the corn, tomatoes, and peppers too. In fact, actually, I'm just getting to finishing harvesting up my corn. Actually, I'm gonna be getting the last of the ears off of my one stand of corn, and then the other stand of corn I did in the back. It didn't fare too well this year, so I'm getting a bunch of little raggedy small ears, but I'm getting like 3-4 of them off of each of the plants. So that's something, but they ain't nothing. I'm probably just gonna let them go to the birds and let them have a treat, and well, open them up for them and everything, make it easy and all of that before I go and take down all of the corn and get that stand cleared out for the season. And then same with the area where I have my other corn that's really done well. They're really good, delicious ears of corn. I've actually had a couple of them and really like those. It was a great variety of corn that I was growing there, and that plot really does well for me when it comes to the corn. And so we'll be clearing that out soon here, and then I've got like some spinach and some things like that. I think we're gonna go and throw in some greens and whatnot and get started with our fall gardening hopefully soon, if some of my plant starts turn out all right. That's what I'm really hoping for. So that's the thing about growing from seed. And if not, hopefully I'm gonna find some place locally here that's got some fall plant starts possibly for sale around here. I'm not too sure exactly. You know, it's one thing I think a lot of greenhouses and places could do is just really do more of that. You know, make some and encourage fall gardening and getting in and growing some of those greens and things that you can do. Um, let's see. Caroline says, our frost is close and I still have a lot of San Marzano tomatoes that are green. And how can I ripen them? Um, Frost is close. I try to let it get as close as maybe possible before that's your first frost date expected. Although it can happen earlier, it could happen whenever. But that's what I'd imagine because you're right up there in New Hampshire, you know. So that's I can imagine it's going to really cold's going to really start creeping up on you fast. Um, at that point, if they're green, depending on how small I suppose they are and all of that, but your green tomatoes are just gonna ripen up off of the plant. So it's one of the things you can do is just I take some of the green ones that look good size or kind of develop pretty good, and then I just kind of get a little box. I kind of put them in a box and I set them aside for a little while and let them just kind of sit there and ripen up a little bit. You can put them, I think, in the windows. Some people do like that, or different things. I'm not sure, but some of those ones that are developed pretty good should ripen up for you pretty quickly even. I've got some San Marzanos myself, 2 plants of San Marzanos I'm growing, and I'm already been pulling off some of the really ripe ones and stuff, but I've probably got plenty of growing time still left to let a lot of the ones that are really green on my plant develop and ripen. But there will be that point when, for me, even the same thing will happen. I'll try to push it right up as close as I can to the first frost date for my area. And then at that point, like I said, I'll pull off a lot of those pretty developed green tomatoes and, just kind of set them aside and let them ripen up and use them as they ripen up. But, and I'm not sure, there's some things you might look up where there might be like I think they say if you put them with certain things or something. I'm not sure that that are already kind of ripe or whatever will help encourage the ripening of them. I'm not sure about that at all, really, to tell you the truth. But those are some things that I'd encourage you to look up and maybe see if there's any sort of tricks like that or so. Other than that, like I said, I just simply put some aside and let them ripen up on their own, because they will do that off a plant. Some things will ripen up off of the plant, and then there's some things you grow that won't ripen once you pull them off. So tomatoes are just one of those ones that you can do that with. So that you can kind of get a little kind of after harvest, after the season's kind of over and you've cut the plants down and and you're all done. You can kind of have a little after harvest. So that's good. Can I cover them at night? Cover the plants leading up to your first frost date. I imagine you could, yeah. If you had some sort of plant type of maybe a frost type of cover you could put over the plant, you could do that and possibly extend your frost or this and that and whatnot on the plant. But as soon as it starts getting cold though, that's more than just the frost itself, just those really cold nights as things really get cold, that's when a tomato plant's going to really just kind of slow down its growth and kind of just altogether stop, and then you'll start seeing the leaves die off and all that sort of stuff, and that's just going to show its end of its season. And you could totally do that too. I mean, cover it up, see how far it goes, see how much you can get out of it, and then once the plant just kind of shows you that it's done, it's dying off, just kind of me, I just kind of cut my plants just right at the base. I leave the root system in to kind of decompose and whatnot over the winter season and all of that. And then when I come back, it's just kind of a little bit of a tug, and the top of the the really hard root base of the plant just kind of pops right up, and then I pop a new plant right in there, and we're good to go for the next season and all of that too. So you can do that. Definitely you can let your plants go, especially if you're not going to be using the space for something that's going to be going in, say, for a fall type of growing thing like that, then yeah, absolutely, I would just let them go. And like you said, possibly cover them at night and see how far you can extend it past your first frost date, or maybe right up to your first frost date. But like I said, once it starts getting really cold, your plants are going to just pretty much be taking their own course to the end of their season. So, but it's one of the things I do. You know, I kind of just, I don't even cover, I don't even worry about it. I do just kind of let them sit and do that myself, though, just to mention that. That's kind of my tactic. I don't cover them up, but I just let them go until, you know, the frost really kind of takes them out and I've gotten everything I can off of them, you know, as far as like I said, the kind of really developed ones that are right up to my, when I'm right up close to my first frost date, I take those off, bring them in and let them ripen up. And then whatever's left on the plant, I'm gonna let it go and see, because you never know. You might get an extension on your first frost. You know, that first frost date is just a estimate and average, you know, for the measurement, and so possibly, you know, you could be looking at, you know, another week or two post your first frost date before that actually really starts to come in, and some of those ones on the plant that you leave on there might actually kind of develop a little bit more. Like I said, maybe they won't go to red, you know, but maybe they'll grow just a little bit more, so they'll develop a little bit more on the plant before you bring them in the house to let them ripen up, because that's one thing, you know, they will ripen up off of the plant, but they're not going to grow anymore, you know, so that's the thing, you know, so left them on the plant, you know, and then do that sort of thing. Because yeah, it's going to be start creeping up here real soon, as we'll be getting to the end of our summer growing season. Summer, I believe, in just a couple of days is going to be over as we move into the fall season. And like I said, I'm hoping that I can get my seed starts going and be able to have some nice fall growing. Other than that, I've been sowing out seed and doing some things like that as well for different things. So we'll see kind of how that works out and how that develops, you know, and I'll kind of show you that as we keep as we move along into the fall season, and we get some episodes out when we get back here into the home garden. But I do got a couple of really good episodes coming up for you here on the 2019 National Heirloom Expo. I mean, that was just a phenomenal experience this year. Each year I'm just having more and more fun at this event. Just something else, you know, to be able to get together with really great like-minded people and be able to spend a few days hanging out and really enjoying the whole event. And this year's I kind of really wanted to focus on for myself was to be able to really get in and watch a lot of the speakers that they bring into the event there at the National Heirloom Expo. It's they got some really great, knowledgeable people sharing all sorts of different experiences around food and growing food and all of that sort of stuff. And you know, sustainability, life, permaculture, homesteading. You know, there's just a ton of different subjects that they cover, and there's a lot of fascinating stories to be told by a lot of people who, you know, have some really great real life experiences and really, you know, get invited out to the expo to be able to share those experiences with all of us in their talks. And I was able to, or I really kind of did focus for that on myself and put aside the time really this year to you know, be able to absorb a lot of that sort of stuff, because it's really what it's all about, though, too, is to be able to get in and have that part of the experience as well, because they got some really great speakers, and really did enjoy that. It's something that, you know, we'll be talking about a little bit more, maybe even this next week too, for the next live stream and all of that, as I get the episodes edited down and put together and released here this next week, because I really can't wait for that. And it's you know, one of the things, you know, that really I think I really enjoy about the experience, as I mentioned, though, is just getting together with a lot of people and to really get to enjoy the time with people that I've got to really meet through this exposition, and to develop some really great friendships with and all of that. And that was what was really, I think, probably just took it right over the top for me this year, was just that connection with people again that I've gotten to know over the last couple of years, and to be really enjoy you know, that whole time and everything. So let's just go back. I'll tell you, I took off this last week or so ago, I think the Sunday before the expo, got in early Monday to the area and went out and spent the day over at John Kohler's house. Now that's, like I said, talking about getting to meet people and to get to know people and all that through the expo. As I've shared before and I talked about before, as I've done a couple of episodes going to meet up with John at his house, both in Northern California, and he also has a house in Las Vegas that we went to go visit earlier this last spring, and got to do some episodes with him, get him on our channel, and to talk with him about gardening and all that sort of stuff. It was through meeting up with Josh Cunnings, who owns the Boogie Brew, that John features a lot on his channel and all of that, that I met at the first expo, that really kind of kicked off this whole kind of like getting to meet people and develop some really great friendships. And that was just one of them that really kind of kicked it off, with Josh being a great person, just a really great friend, just brought me right all into everything that was going on there, and just kind of invited me along through the rest of the first expo I went to 3 expos ago. And from there, it just kind of went on to more and more, and just really kind of behind the scenes of the channel and all that sort of stuff. I really developed a really great friendship with the guy, and really kind of enjoy getting to hang out with him through what he does is puts on a booth and a whole strip of booths with different vendors that work with him and all of that through his company, his compost tea company. And just all of those people that are with him as other vendors, he's got Brian and Carmen down in Southern California who come up with the worm castings, and others, that are along with his company and all that sort of stuff. So it's just really, that was just a really great experience to kind of kick it all off, to get there to the expo and all of that. But through Josh, he was kind enough to take me over to John's one day, because John has him over to kind of do some things and really keep his garden kind of top notch. And I came over, was invited over once, and really at that point in time really got to, I met and talked with John before, but really getting to meet with him and hang out with him in his front yard. In fact, if you go back to the videos, there's Growing Peppers with John Kohler, and that's a video that I got to do. And I think I've told this story before, but we just went over there, and I was going to help out, and I was going to try to get some things and work on, and I think he had some plant starts and stuff like that that needed to be planted and all of that. So I just was going in there to use my hands in the dirt in John Kohler's front yard garden, which was just really great, because I spent years watching this guy's channel and watching him. I watched all the videos where he put that front yard garden together. So it was just a really great opportunity for me, as kind of a fan in some sense, a way to be there and actually be working in that garden. And was talking with John, and he just turned to me and said, "Hey, you want to make a video?" And right at that, I was like, "Yeah, totally, I want to make a video." And then we thought, let's do a video on peppers. Let's sit down. We set up the camera, shot it, and did it. There's a funnier story to go along with that to make it even longer, but I actually shot the first video, and the battery went out like after a minute. And he was so kind enough to just sit there and redo the whole interview all over again, and on a second take, as we reset up a new camera and got that all done and everything. And he was just really great. So it was really great, like I said, to get and to meet up and get to know John and all of that. So I got invited down to go to Las Vegas and hang out with him there, which we had a great time. Talked about on the previous live streams about how that all went. That was really great, and really just kind of developed a really great friendship with John. And so I just wanted to go and hang out with John, no videos, no nothing, and go help him work in his garden and all that sort of stuff, and talk about YouTubing and talk about all the sort of things like that. And I spent Monday before the expo getting to do that, helping him get his plant beds kind of in a video he's got coming up on his channel. He kind of explains he had some troubles this summer, and ended up having someone kind of really almost kind of sabotage his front yard, and turned off all of his drip irrigation on him, and he lives mainly in Las Vegas. Kind of relies on those systems to be working on that as he, periodically comes up and checks every few weeks or so and all of that, but long enough in the middle of summer in Northern California for his beds to really dry up. So I really came in and helped him out get those beds watered down, and even stopped by his place after he had left after the expo. I told him I'd help him out and stop by and water them down a little bit more before I headed out. And so it was really great to be able to do that. That was really fun. Let me see. Oh, yep, we got Kyle here from Growing Up Garden. Kyle and the family, how y'all doing there? And he says greetings from NorCal. So he's from Northern California there, right outside of the area, about an hour and a half or so away from where the National Heirloom Expo is. And let's see. Oh, he also says loves Boogie Brew. Yes, absolutely. In fact, I met Kyle from Growing Up Garden there, his channel. Go check out his channel, definitely. But I met him through Josh as well. He was doing something to help Josh out and building something for his displays and all of that, and stopped by and then got to meet him there at Josh's business there in the area. And that was really cool. Kind of developed into, a national heirloom kind of friendship and all of that. And then went last national heirloom to his home there in Northern California to check out his front yard garden. He's got a really amazing front yard garden, really uses all this really limited space, like really optimally. I mean, I just love the way he packs everything in and does all that sort of stuff. And we got to meet up with him. So like I said, another great friendship, another great thing that, developed out of all of this, we had a great meetup last year, put together a video. So like I said, I encourage everybody to go into the videos section for this channel and check out the video that we did with Kyle Growing Up Garden there, and also check out his channel as well. I think there's links in that video. You can check the link, I think, in his comment there. I think you can link up to his channel that way. But please do. It's really great to, like I've said before, to be able to help promote other people and their channels too, while getting a chance and opportunity to meet people and do things that are really fun in certain collaborations. Kyle's was a great collaboration. Got to go over, meet him and his family. Just a wonderful meetup the first time. And so all this last year, I was really looking forward to getting a chance to meet up and go back and check out and see how the garden was going on this year. And that's something that we did this last Saturday after the exposition, is that we went back out to Kyle's place and got together with the family and all of that, and did a nice little cool garden tour. And then we did a little sit down interview that I'm gonna be putting together another episode on Growing Up Garden too. So that's something you can look forward to coming up, is we'll have that episode, and really great use of space. Like I said, some things are a little bit different than they were last year, and some of the things that we kind of talk about in that video, and then some of the different things coming up for him and his channel as well. So we kind of talk about that in the video too. So I encourage people to go out and check out all these great small channel creators like we are here at the Urban Gardener, So let's see here. And next we got Nancy says her laptop is messing up usual. I want to say hi to everyone, and she's listening. Well, great to have you with us, Nancy. Again, thank you so much for joining us here. Everybody, thank you all for joining up here with me and hanging out and having a nice little conversation here this Wednesday on our on Wednesdays live conversation chat, that we have here each Wednesday, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Also, if you're on the East Coast or like Carolina and New Hampshire or whatnot, I believe that's 3 hours ahead Eastern Standard Time at 8 p.m. So please come and set the reminder for upcoming live streams as they come available on the YouTube channel. Click the bell notifications for the subscribe as well too, so you can be notified of upcoming streams when they're happening, or upcoming episodes when they're being put out too, because we'll have the National Heirloom Expo coming up here too, which should be a nice little two-part episode for us, with really great appearances by several different people, some who've been on our program before and some who haven't. We've got a couple of people who haven't as well, so really hope you all look forward to, and hit the notifications button right there with the subscribe button if you haven't, if you're joining up with us on this live stream, and check out those upcoming episodes, as well as the episode with Kyle and his channel Growing Up Garden. Let's see here. Darla's joining us here, growing just north of Houston, Texas. Swimming pool grow bag system with okra, squash, and bell peppers. Now that sounds fascinating. I would love to see that. That would be great. Just north of Houston, swimming pool grow bag system. So is that like grow bags inside of a swimming pool? But okra, squash, bell peppers, all those great things. I haven't grown okra yet. That's something I really think I'm going to try. I heard a couple of people talking a lot about it here actually at the exposition and whatnot. So it really made me think, about the idea of giving it a shot, giving it a try. I've had many different types of gumbo and whatnot with okra in it and all of that, and I've enjoyed it all the time. Never really tried it in anything else, or cooked any other way, or prepared any other way. So maybe that'd be something fun to kind of try this next year, is try growing an okra plant and see what I can come up with on that too. But let's see here. I'm gonna just jump ahead real quick. Darla, swimming pool grow bag system. I know. What would you believe? Yeah. And then she says, yes, grow bags inside of a small kiddie pools. Okay, so I get it. So you got great place to where you can water from down below in grow bags that are probably that just sounds great. That sounds like a cool little system to use, and a great way to use space, and use up those old used kiddie pools and all of that too as well. I've also seen people actually just fill the kiddie pools and plant right out of them as well too. But NJ Callie Gardner and family says, hello everyone. I want to say hello there. Thank you for joining me. Thanks everybody for joining me this week. It's so really great to have all of you along with me here. I'm just trying to keep up and figure out, keep up with the conversation here, and make sure I'm getting everybody in. It's great to have you back with us, NJ Callie Gardner and family. All of you all joining up with me here. That's great. And then Darla says, with holes about 2 inches up, so if there is any rain, it will self-regulate the water, which is a great idea. Sort of like with what I got with my 5-gallon water wicking buckets. They got a couple of holes just a couple inches up, just to make sure that, like, during times like the last couple of days that I've had around here, had a ton of rain, and and so that regulates how much water is there. It doesn't allow it to get too deep, so that the buckets aren't sitting and saturating in water, because saturating soil is not a good situation to have for your roots and the whole plant. It's just not a really good thing you want to look forward to. So yeah, great to have that water regulation. And thanks, Darla. Nancy says, all right. And NJ Callie Gardner and family, there are over 150 varieties of okra. Wow. I'm gonna have to just pick 1 or 2, but 150, that's really kind of cool. So real quick here, and going back up here, Kyle at Growing Up Garden has been talking with me about an idea, and he mentioned their possible collaboration coming up for 2020. So t.U.G and G.U.G, Growing Up Garden and the Urban Gardener doing a kind of challenge collaboration of some sort. We'll talk about that. I think that's something I'll hold off on, and that will, as far as details and everything, we'll work it out, get it all set up, and then maybe that's something that you can all look forward to this upcoming season, is we'll do a kind of cool channel-to-channel challenge collaboration of some sort. As we got other things here too that are coming up, that I've also talked about with Kyle as well too, that we got coming up here for our gardens as well too that I'm kind of holding back on telling everybody about, because I think it's gonna be really great. It's gonna really kind of up some of the things that we're doing here, take it to a kind of another level, almost, you know, the next level, another level, you know, which is really, I'm looking forward to. I'm kind of really excited about all of that sort of stuff too. So that will be something to look forward to. I think I'm really up for that. So we'll definitely look forward to putting together details and talking about all of that, you know, in upcoming episodes, upcoming live streams, all of that sort of stuff. But I just want to real quick here, we'll get back to the chat for a second. I want to kind of real quick kind of finish up the story real quick that I was kind of talking about here about, you know, getting to meet friends and all of that, and Kyle and his family and everything. The one thing I want to really give them a huge shout out. This year's expo was really topped off and really made just absolutely wonderful experience for me altogether. But to finish it all off with an opportunity to go hang out with Kyle and his family, going out, he took me out on a boat, out on a lake in Northern California. And it was amazing. Their boat was just, experience was just awesome, going all over this really cool, huge lake. It was a beautiful day. Got to be able to get out and ride on one of the tube-like things that they have there and all of that and everything too. It was just really a wonderful experience. So, you know, big huge shout out to them for really making that experience. As I said, it's just really kind of blown me away, the things that have happened for me in starting this channel, and it's really taken things in my experiences in life to a whole new level. As like I was saying about our garden next season, and it's all of the wonderful people that I've gotten to meet through, you know, collaborations and going out on this garden adventure and getting to do that. I mean, you know, it's just, you know, from getting to develop a really cool friendship with John Kohler, to be able to go and hang out with him and talk about things and then have really great discussions about stuff and learn about, you know, some of this whole adventure I'm on, you know, not just the gardening, but the YouTube and all that sort of stuff. The getting to meet up with people like, you know, like Nick and Kay and, you know, Nick Federoff, I'll say, who has a radio program in Los Angeles. Kay Cottrell, her channel, Late Bloomer, Urban, I'm blowing the name of the channel, but look up Kay Cottrell. She's got a great, wonderful channel too. Got a great, awesome front yard garden. I probably can't name everybody now that I'm thinking about it, you know. It's just, you know, really awesome experience. Wendi Fan I met through the National Heirloom Expo last year, and we got to interview her. I've gotten to meet up with her, and we've talked a lot about different things and experiences that we've had over this last year and all of that. Getting to hang out with her and talk and discuss things on the live stream that we did this last week, live from the expo and all of that. A lot of people, you know, and, you know, all the way to, you know, Kyle and his family and everything this last week, and getting to go and hang out and do that and just be able to kind of kick back and relax with these friends and really enjoy a wonderful time out there on the lake like that. Was just really made that whole week just top notch for me, and I really appreciate that. Thank you all so much. You know, thank you to Jasmine, thank you to Lily and Blake for just, you know, you guys making that just experience just so wonderful for me. Thank you so much. And let's see here. Nancy says, thanks, Darla, for talking and sharing with us about those swimming pool grow bag system. That's just really cool. I like that whole idea. You know, it's just a good way to use some things, to use up some space and grow and all of that. Thanks for sharing that. And Darla says, yes, I want to try those buckets, like I have the 5-gallon water wicking bucket system that I have. She says, we are having tropical weather here now, and her plants are not drowning. And that's getting back to talking about having that drainage set up, with putting some holes there, you know, 2 inches into those grow bags, similar to the bucket system as she's talking about there, that we have the holes to regulate and make sure that water isn't flooding our plants out. And especially if you're dealing with tropical weather like that, there's and I know there's the tropical storm. I don't know if it developed into a hurricane or not that just came in, but you know, you guys get that sort of weather and lots of rain, so you definitely helps those plants to ensure that they're not drowning, because you don't want drowning plants, that's for sure. All right, let's see here. Check something here real quick. Yeah. So, you know, it's been a really great week I've had so far, as far as everything with the National Heirloom Expo. I really can't wait to share with you guys some of the experiences of the expo as we get to put out the episodes that I'm editing right now, trying to get them together. I see that everybody's getting their National Heirloom Expo episodes out. Like I mentioned, Wendi fan. You can go check her channel out, Wendi Fan on YouTube. She just put out a video for her experience at the National Heirloom Expo, and I got kind of a small little part in there too, so you can see me on her video. Maybe I'll find a way right after this to put a link down in the description here too, to that video. And but yeah, just a really great week, and just gonna probably, let's see here, unless there's anybody got any questions or anything like that, or anything that they want to know. One thing I'd ask though too is if you're joining this week and you didn't get to see last week's live stream, I encourage you to go back to the video section, the video area there, and check out the live stream that we did last week. I set it up live right there at the expo. I was able to get the Wi-Fi password from Jerry Gettle there at the and he shared it with me so I could set up that live stream. So it all kind of really came together last minute too. As I talk about a lot, you know, I'm really kind of scrambling to get certain things together a lot of times. This wasn't any different when it came to trying to put together and get all of that set up for the live stream and everything. But it all kind of came together, and I was able to get, as I mentioned, Wendi and her channel and her video that she has of the National Heirloom Expo. She did sit in with us during our live stream last week, and we talked about her speaking engagement there that she had, and her experience at the expo and all of that. And Kyle and Blake had an appearance there too. Kyle sat in with me and talked about the expo and all of that, and what he enjoyed about the exposition and everything. And so I encourage everybody, go back and check out that live stream. Did kind of get a little kind of this output of the live stream kind of got messed up just for a short period of time there and everything. I think what that actually was is that I didn't have my phone plugged in, and I think it just kind of, the live stream was weakening or getting messed up. The weaker my phone was getting, closer to dying. So as soon as I plugged that back in, it seemed like the live stream started to come back and get back to normal and everything too. So I think that's what that was. So I got to really keep an eye on that if I do any more live streams on location, because that was actually really fun, and really kind of fun to have someone sit in with me during the live stream. It's a little bit different than just sitting here by myself in the living room, you know, with the camera and everything. You know, it's great having everybody in the chat and all of that, but just a little bit different to have a person live with me right here on the channel. So that was really fun. So I hope everybody goes back and checks out that live stream and checks it out, because it was a really fun experience, and you can kind of get an idea of the ambiance of the National Heirloom Expo. Next year, I'm going to try to do it just a little bit better, get a little bit set up just a little bit differently, but try to do that again this next year, or maybe even on some other trips or things that we do some more kind of like on location live streams, because that was actually really fun. And let's see here. So Darla says, sounds like you had an awesome trip and experiences, and it was so great to hear. Yes, yes, thank you. And it was really great, and it's like I said, it's just really um, because of all this channel, because of all of the participation that everybody brings and to this channel and all of that, that just really is encouraging, that keeps me moving forward in this garden adventure, that takes me out to get some of these experiences and meet all of these great and awesome people that are in the garden community. And you know, hopefully someday I'll get to meet all of you as well too someday. You know, hopefully you'll be able to get to come out to the expo or maybe some other things in the future, and we'll get a chance to meet and all of that. I mean, it was just um, you know, really, really fun to be able to connect with people. Like I've said repeatedly over, I can't repeat that enough. It's just, you know, I'm so thankful for all of this and everything that everybody has done to encourage me moving forward, and that I keep continuing this great garden adventure, because it just keeps getting better and better each and every year. So I'm really, really excited about this next year and coming years with the channel and doing all that. So I hope you all continue to follow along with me and enjoy this great garden adventure with me. And I'll share every bit of it as I can, and bring you all along with some of these great fun things, and meet some of these great, cool, awesome people that are out there in the garden community doing some really great things with gardening and all of that. So Darla also asks, what about the presentations at the festival? And she asks any new innovations and stuff like that. And so really what I'm going to be doing is, Darla, real quick, and I'll just so I could, I'm going to put out these two episodes. So I'm going to get the editing all done, working on that. I'm going to try to get that all done this weekend so that we can really kind of get these episodes out this next week. And this next week's Wednesday live stream, I'm going to kind of talk about whole expo as a whole, and kind of talk about that as I have the videos out for everybody to be able to check and see. And that way, you know, kind of be able to check out the videos, then you'll be able to see the live stream, and then we'll be able to talk about that sort of stuff too. There's some things that, you know, that went on there, and it was fun and all that sort of stuff that I want to share with you, as we'll get to talking about that on next week's live stream for sure. She says, I meant expo and new varieties of anything discussed. Yeah, all that sort of great stuff. There was some great new different things, kind of stuff like that, that was at the exposition. And other than, like I said, if you want a little taste of the expo and our experience there too, just as I was just mentioning, please go check out our live stream that we did last week. It was really fun live stream. It's not just like the regular weekly live stream here. It was just a really great fun on location right there in the middle of the exposition, and getting a chance to sit down with Wendi Fan and talk about the expo, and Kyle there from Growing Up Garden as well, you know, with an appearance from Kyle's son Blake, who got in there just for a moment, and also had a little video bomb hello from Patrice from Patrice's Projects, another collaboration we did last year on our way to the exposition last year. Got to go meet up with her, check out her garden, have a cool garden discussion and everything. So again, I encourage you to go to the video section for our channel here and check out those episodes. Go look them up, Patrice's Projects, all of that. Go check out if you haven't, or you're new to the channel and all of that. We've got lots of great episodes in the video section of our channel, where we've got great meetups, great collaborations, really cool stuff that are really fun to just go back and check out. You can watch these kind of episodes anytime, so I encourage you, go back and check out some of those, and let me know what you think. Get in the comments and all of that, and especially those of, like I said, Growing Up Garden from last year's National Heirloom Expo, when we went down there meeting up with them. Go check out that episode we did last year with them at their house, and then look forward to a new episode with them at their house, with all the changes from last year to this year, and the changes upcoming and everything for them and their channel. Coming up just after our National Heirloom Expo episodes come out this next week, we'll be putting that episode as well too. But Yep, she says, great, looking forward to it. Thank you, Darla, so much for getting in on the conversation here on our Live with Wednesdays this week. Just really, really appreciate your participation, appreciate everybody who's getting in right there in the chat box and helping keep this conversation moving forward. Just like I said, one of the things I really, really enjoy about this channel and everything is been this new live stream on Wednesdays at 5 o'clock, getting together with all of you and getting a chance to talk about all these great things that we're doing here and things that we're up to, talk about the things that you're growing and all of that. And please continue to join with us next week too, as we will be back next week, like I said, to talk about all of our great things that went on during the National Heirloom Expo, talk about some of the different people who got to join in with us on our videos and our video experience of the exposition and all of that. And Caroline says, looking forward to the videos from the expo, and we'll venture over to listen to G.U.G. And she says, have a great night. Well, have a great night, Caroline. Thank you again so much for joining me here and joining along with everybody else here for the conversation. Definitely, like I said, go check out Growing Up Garden, G.U.G, and check out the things that they got going on there with their channel and all of that. And as we kind of teased just a little bit ago, look forward to, subscribe his channel, hit the bell notifications, subscribe here if you haven't, hit the bell notifications, get double notified of an upcoming challenge that we'll possibly do between our two channels and everything too. So unless there's anything really anybody wants to ask or any questions you might have or anything like that, I'll just kind of end with just a quick little discussion about things going on with the garden and all of that. Let me see, I gotta take a drink real quick. Yeah, so as I mentioned, garden's getting pounded right now with a bunch of rain. I think like the day before I actually made it back home from the National Heirloom Expo, a week that I spent down in California. In fact, that was just a big old shot of thunder that just crashed through right there. I don't even know if that came through on the camera or not, but saw a flash of lightning a second ago, and then big old thunder that's happening. We're just getting poured on since I got back from the expo. I mean, I left here and it was 100-degree weather, and now it's pouring down rain. Everything's getting a really good soaking in the garden, but for some things it's not really taken to it too very well. And so there's some things I'm trying to work on and get fixed up. There's a couple of things going on too, that some plants that I kind of want to talk about in an upcoming episode, but I'm not too sure, but I'll kind of mention real quick here. I mentioned about the powdery mildew situation. I was dealing with some of the squash that I was growing and all of that. And I have one really big zucchini plant, and the powdery mildew started hitting it. I cut off some of the big leaves that it was really first starting to affect, but it seemed to just continue to spread. So I decided to kind of go with the, well, let's see what happens and let it go kind of thing. And it really did take its toll on the plant. But the one thing I've noticed though too is that I'm still getting some really good production of zucchini. I've actually got back, I had to harvest off 2 really nice ones. There's like 3 or 4 already starting to grow and develop really good and all of that. And same with the zucchini plant I got on the other side. That's not quite as big, but it, just the powdery mildew spores got everywhere. All the squash was basically kind of affected by it, and but it didn't really seem to kind of harm or mess with the fruit growth too. So I don't know how I'm gonna really deal with this in the future. I don't like the idea of the plants dying off like that. I don't like how that all kind of went about. I am kind of glad about the fact that the zucchini continues to grow and has continued to form and develop. And so as far as that goes, it's really kind of a positive thing. But I don't know, I'm going to work on some sort of powdery mildew type of measures again next season to see if maybe I can't cut it off before it really gets started and going. because it really does just seem to take over the garden when it happens. And if you just let it go for a day or two, it really gets on everything. And it's at that point just gets too hard to kind of actually try to treat and take down and stop it. But hopefully I can keep a better eye out this next season and take some measures to really kind of stop it from really, devastating the garden so bad, But again, like I said, really good fruit growth still though. And G.U.G, Kyle, it's cool and cloudy here now. Rained pretty good on Monday. We got lucky with perfect lake weather for you though. Yes, it was perfect. That was just such a great experience again. Like, I thank you so much for all of that. To get out on lake, I haven't been out on a boat for a while. I haven't been out on a lake like that in quite a long time. So it was just a really, really wonderful experience. We did just hit the weather perfectly, but it's really starting to get us right now, just as we're approaching the very end of summer too. And the very end of summer is just a couple of days from now, and then we're moving on into fall. And right now, walking outside, it looks like that, it's ready for fall season out there. So, and that's really kind of taking it, like I said, taking its toll on some of the plants and the things that we got growing on in the gardens. So there's some things that I'll be having to cut out. I did show, if you go and check out the summer garden tour, you get to see all the things that we grew and how they got up there and all of that. One of the things you'll notice in that garden tour is I showed the sunflowers that grew this season. They were pretty much heading towards their last days. In fact, just yesterday I was out there in between one of the raining fits that's been going on. It's really actually coming down pretty hard right now. I think that's hail even too right now. Yeah, I can hear hail hitting against the window. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear that. But anyways, in between that, I saw all these birds just going crazy on the sunflower plants and everything too. So they're really done. So I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna chop out some of these sunflower heads. I'm gonna lay them out and let the birds kind of have their fun with eating up on those, and kind of clean up and get those sort of things ready to kind of be set down. Because as fall really gets hit here, I have some trees in my front yard and in the neighborhood that really just give us great piles of leaves. Start spreading leaves all over the property and covering up a lot of our grow spaces and all of that, and try to get things kind of set up and get ready for winter time, as well as a lot of the parts of the gardens will kind of slow down and kind of settle out and wait for next season's growing. And then there's going to be several parts of the garden that we'll be talking about and growing with in some of the upcoming episodes, where we'll be doing some fall gardening and setting up to try to kind of extend our season just a little bit. And hopefully as maybe the plant starts get developed and all of that, or maybe I can find some. Hopefully this turns out like I want it to, but we'll at least talk about some measures and some things that we'll do and work on here in the gardens in order to extend our gardening season through the fall and towards the colder end of the year and all of that. Maybe even some parts of the garden throughout the winter season too. And plus we also got garlic to be planted out here pretty soon too. So we'll be working on episodes. We'll be planting out this year's garlic. I do got a different variety of garlic and type actually of garlic that I'm going to be growing that I haven't grown before in our gardens. And that's a hardneck variety of garlic. I haven't grown that yet in the seasons that we've grown here. And Nancy sent me some of her hardneck variety of garlic, and we're going to be able to plant that out and grow that in our gardens this year. So I'm really looking forward to being able to plant those out and see how those grow, and be able to use some of the really great garlic scapes that grow from some of the hardneck varieties of garlic there too. So I'm looking forward to a lot of really cool fall stuff coming up and everything for the channel and everything too. So again, if you're following along on this live stream and you haven't already subscribed, which I really hope you have, please hit the subscribe button, the bell notification, so you can find out about all those cool upcoming episodes and everything. If you are subscribed to the channel and you haven't seen some of our past episodes and some of our visits and all of that sort of stuff, please go to the video section of the channel and everything and go check out some of those cool episodes that we got and see, and check out some of the great people that we've gotten to meet with here on the Urban Gardener, as I'll end this whole live stream this week with our hitting our 100th episode of the Urban Gardener. Put together 100 of these over the last couple of seasons, and it's just really been such a great time with everybody, sharing all of my gardening adventures and gardening experiences with all of you guys, and have you all along with me for the garden adventure. So just really great pleasure putting them all out, and hopefully you look forward to our 100th episode coming up, which will be our first episode of the National Heirloom Expo. You know, and what a way to kick off the 100th episode, and the next 100 episodes of the channel and all of that is with a really great experience at the National Heirloom Exposition. And let's see here. Darla and Kyle from Grown Up Garden says yes, they can hear the storm. Yeah, it's really going, man. I mean, I can see through the crack in the blinds that I got right there. It's wow. Yeah, I hope the garden's doing all right, because there's a lot of wind and that's a lot of wind. So hopefully everything's faring well out there. I think I'm gonna go put a jacket on and something and go see if anything needs any help, or I'm gonna have to stake anything up or something like that. I think I'm gonna have to go do possibly some rescue missions or something out there in the garden. So hopefully everything's faring really well and all of that. I hope you are all faring well in your gardens, and I hope everything's going good for all of you guys. Thank you so much for joining us here on the live on Wednesdays at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to try to put up a link for next week's live. Get on that, set the reminder, everything, so you can come join us next week for our weekly conversation here on the Urban Gardener, live with t.U.G on Wednesdays. Again, so awesome to have you all with me. Thanks again, and I'm going to let you all go. We'll see you later.